when I'm doing sound effects, sometimes I am using layers, like I would take one sample and one other sample, yeah, this one, and then I synchronize it by defining something that I will call this the trigger point, like this transient here and this one, and I create something by playing those two at once, but synchronizing them to one precise point inside the sample. And since I have several of them, it's several alternative recordings for the same foley, so I can use them like this, and this will get me several variations for the same sound effect. Several alternatives that sound the same but with some subtle difference. I can also sometimes, if I don't have the variations, I can also use just one single sample, but pitch it a little bit, or add EQ, or add various things on one specific layer. But one important thing is that if I decide to pitch it, I will not just do it like this. I will keep it in sync, or sometimes I will deliberately shift one layer. It sounded better like this. I don't know what kind of sound effect is this, but I now have a tool that allows me to do this in a somehow automated way. These 6 layers here are like the tracks, and for each of those layers, the 3 slots here are 3 alternative samples. Like I can just do the same thing that I just did here. This is so these are the 3 slots for the first layer. I can zoom in using Alt button, and I can define the trigger point. I will say that it's here. If I want to listen just the trigger part, I can use this button. Next one. Next one. And then once I have this, I can add envelope times around it. It's not usual envelope, it's like angular envelopes, like on some old machines. For some reason here it was more convenient to do it like this. There is no sustain part for now. You can just like have an infinite decay and a release that comes after, or you can just have a decay time. I'll add the second layer. And for each of these 6 slots here, I can have specific values, like I can shift the pitch, for instance. This is it's a fixed value that applies only for this sample, not this one, but it applies the same way for each hit. I can have like this is a kind of DJ style filter. It does nothing when it's at 0, but it's low pass when it's negative and high pass when it's positive. I can shift the pan, I can shift the gain, I can change the gain, the attack, you've seen this already, release time, and I can delay it. This is similar to what I did here, like I shifted it backwards. I can shift it like this. And there is a visualization here. What you see here are the slots. I will add one more of them, so it will be maybe easier. I just did one of those because it's the same sample. So there are 3 layers here, and if I decide to shift one, you can visually see that it's going to be displaced in time. But I can also use this second column to have a random, for instance, random delay. Or a fixed one. Most of those parameters go either from 0 to 1 or from -1 to 1. But the actual value depends on these values here. Like for instance, -1 means minus 50 milliseconds, but I can have it up to what's the maximum value? 5 seconds. Okay. Same goes for the pitch. Pitch. And this is for the envelope times in milliseconds. I can change them. Yeah, that's it. So I can randomize the filter, the pitch, a bit of everything. I'll just do those for now. The gain. I can randomize them, but I can also, if I'm using MIDI notes to trigger the notes, I can the pitch of the MIDI notes are being taken into account automatically. It will be added to all those values, and the velocity is also taken into account. So if I set it to 1, it means that low velocity will be more silent for this specific slot here. I'm not sure it's very obvious. This specific part is getting louder over time, and if you don't want to have to add notes like this in a MIDI clip, you can use the vertical position of the mouse to. This means high velocity, this means low velocity. Those samples all play sequentially, but I can ask them to play randomly. The randomness is different for all of them, of course. I can also either I trigger it with play, or I can gate, like the moose release will be released. It's very short, so it's hard to. I will add one more layer so it will be more obvious. Maybe I'll use a loop like this. So this is a loop. I will define an arbitrary position in it with an envelope times around it. And by the way, the position of the trigger point can be randomized as well, or changed with velocity. If I add some randomness around it, it doesn't take always the same spot. I can just randomize it a little bit, or I can ask the velocity to have an influence on it. Like if I have a crescendo, for instance, this would be the high velocity zone and the low one, I don't know. Yeah, and I wanted to put a large decay here so you can hear the gate behavior better. Yeah, I'm pressing the mouse and then I will release it at some point. And like when I do this, and it plays to the end. This is specific this part here is specific to the slot that you've chosen, but this part here randomizes or adds velocity values to every slot at once. For instance, if I want the gain to be randomized for every slot, I can move this box, this slider, and this box will be moved as well for all of them. All the randomness is independent from each other. Like the slots all have their own values, of course. Let's do this for banner maybe. And I can also use those boxes that randomize every parameter for every slot, like all of them. Maybe I'll decrease this a bit. This is meant to be used as a... It's not really a musical tool, it's the way I use... it's new. I just made this last week, so I didn't use it a lot so far. But the way I intend to use it is to do and have variations like quickly. One problem that I have currently, but it's going to be fixed very soon, is that if I put some randomization on the attack or on the delay, sometimes the trigger point is not deterministic. It's not going to happen at the exact same time. If I'm doing this. Yeah, this is a good example. Sometimes the trigger point is right there, sometimes it's halfway there, sometimes it's not even there because the knot is too short. But I'm currently adding something so that even if there is randomness, it will crop some parts or add silence to some of the slots so that the trigger point happens at the exact same point. But if you don't randomize the delay or the envelope times, this is not going to happen anyway. So you can just trust. If I do this is a lot more consistent. What else can I say about this? I don't know. No, I think I've talked enough about this. So yeah, maybe I will do a small test and randomize a lot of values. It's monophonic in the sense that if I trig it and one sample was already displaying, everything will be stolen by the next hit. But it's not really meant to be used as a musical tool, so I don't think it really matters. I'll remove this layer. I will add some other layers. There are existing tools like this that I know. For instance, I know that a lot of people use something called Slayer, a Slayer that also includes stretching and some other things. And it seems good, but it's not free. I'm going to release this one for free. Okay, you've just witnessed a small bug, but it just happened once, and it's usually okay on the next hit. And I'm going to put this one for free somewhere, I don't know where. Yes, I know where. Probably on my website and on the Max4Life website thing. Yeah, that's all. Thank you for your attention and see you soon.